The Trump administration just screwed over millions of Americans for over $2 billion. Ladies and gentlemen, you do not want to miss a minute of this video because I have a groundbreaking story that you're not going to believe. I was minding my own business on Thursday, looking for more information about these tariffs that are about to destroy Americans' households, and then this story just fell into my lap. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, I didn't believe it, and I had to reach out to my contact at the CFPB, because yeah, I have a contact at the CFPB, in case everybody's wondering how I get all this information, and they did not even know that this happened. But before I break into the story, make sure that you smash that like and subscribe button so this video gets out to more people so everyone can stay informed about this massive scandal. But let me take this quick little second and I want to explain to you exactly how news is actually sent out, because a lot of people don't understand how this process works, and it's really important that I always find unbiased news out there, because at the end of the day we know that the news and media outlets can be very, very crookedly manipulated. So when a news outlet actually gets a story, it goes on to what's called the wire. So we're going to use this as an example. This wire right here, this represents where all the news goes through and flows through. One news outlet can drop a story, or a political person or whoever it may be can publish a story through the wire. So the news article goes through the wire, and then it's up to the other news outlets to pick it up, like pull it all together and figure out if the news is actually newsworthy or if the news is actually real news and they should talk about it, or they need to vet it in the process. So sometimes not everyone picks up the story. So this is why Yahoo News was the only one that I can find that actually had this story. Well, it was actually Yahoo Finance. So it came up to the very top of my news feed as I was looking for other news, and it said, Trump's pick to run the CFPB tells lawmakers, I will follow the law at embattled agency. I was like, what? So now there's a new acting CFPB director? But that's not the big story, okay? So wait for it, just stick here with me. That's the crazy part, because I'm like, all right, let me just read this article, and I'm scrolling, it's just nonsense that I don't want to hear about them, asking them questions at the committee that nobody cares about, because we all know that they don't really care. Then I scroll all the way down to the very bottom of the article where this is just kind of nicely tucked in there. This is a huge story that was just kind of smothered so people wouldn't notice or pay attention to it. As it reads, on Thursday, the CFPB dismissed 3 lawsuits taken by the Biden administration against Capital One, Rocket Homes Real Estate, and a loan servicer named Pennsylvania Higher Education. Yes, you heard me. I just said the cases were dismissed by the CFPB. Now, the biggest one to pay attention to is the Capital One lawsuit that was dismissed. Now, you heard me right. We just said the CFPB dismissed these 3 massive cases, but the Capital One's the biggest one. Now let's pull up our document that these are all the CFPB pending enforcement cases that have been pending since everything has been paused at the CFPB and the employees at the CFPB have been locked out. So now remember, we covered that I was given this document for interested parties, yes, that's me, on a previous video. But let's scroll down to the very first cases at the top of the list that says Capital One. So the Bureau sued Capital One for cheating consumers out of more than $2 billion in interest payments on savings accounts. The bank unlawfully misled consumers about its 360 savings account and obscured its higher interest savings product from them. $2 billion worth of damages. Basically, people signed up for a high yield savings account and they were swindled and they didn't get paid the full amount. They created another account and then didn't pay them the full interest that was owed. That case was dismissed by the CFPB by the acting director, Russell Vought, who is appointed by the Trump administration. So Capital One is literally going to get away with scamming millions of Americans for over $2 billion. But remember, this is all alleged because nobody was found guilty of this also. I want to give a special shout out to all my beasters out there that are working hard to fix their credit using Dispute Beast, the most advanced AI credit repair software ever created, and specifically to Wesley, Wesley's credit score went up over 226 points after just 2 rounds with Dispute Beast. And also Marcus's credit score went up 337 points after just 2 rounds with Dispute Beast. And let's not forget Richard's credit score went up 446 points after just 1 round with Dispute Beast. Dispute Beast is going to be pinned at the very top of the comments and in the video description for anybody that needs to fix their credit. Last part's the most important. But of course, it doesn't just stop there, because remember, 2 other cases were dismissed. What were those? We got the document to look at it. So scroll down to Rocket Homes Real Estate. So the Bureau sued to stop an illegal kickback scheme to steer borrowers to Rocket Mortgage. Rocket Homes provided kickbacks to real estate brokers and agents to steer prospective borrowers to Rocket Mortgage. So this is 100% illegal in the real estate market. You can't intentionally push them to specific mortgage lenders for money. Now, you could recommend an actual client to a mortgage company, but you can't take any money from it. They were paying real estate agents, which is 100% illegal, because at the end of the day, they're not showing these clients the other options that they have. They're just pushing them intentionally to Rocket Mortgage, no matter the rates or no matter the person's actual situation. That's why they were sued by the CFPB. And the third and final lawsuit that was dismissed was the one with Pennsylvania Higher Education's Assistance Agency. So the Bureau sued the student loan servicer PHEAA for pursuing borrowers for loans discharged in bankruptcy. The lawsuit alleged that PHEAA illegally collected monies that borrowers did not owe, and PHEAA reports false information to credit report companies. So not only did they try to get money that they did not owe, but then they were destroying their credit reports, destroying their ability to get credit, get a home, get a car, get a credit card. They were ruining people's lives. But we're like, you know what? Nah, dismiss these cases, fam. They're not important. Who are consumers? They don't matter. But in case if you're wondering, this news article did not just drop on Yahoo News. It just dropped on Yahoo News when I found it. And then later on at night, of course, they started to roll out more reports. And then the Consumer Reports Advocacy Department dropped a story on it also on February 27th. Now, also, I found another article with other damaging information from a website called The Banking Dive. Of course, clearly it's all about money. So they didn't just stop with these 3 cases, they also dropped a 4th case from Solo Funds. Let's go to my trusty little pending enforcements list over here. Solo Funds. The Bureau sued Solo Funds for deceiving borrowers and illegally extracting fees. The company advertised zero-cost loans, but deployed digital dark patterns, resulting in almost every borrower paying at least one fee. So yeah, that doesn't matter. We don't want to give those people their money back after they were scammed. Why would we do that? But let's go back to the Banking Dive article and scroll down to where it says, late last week, the CFPB dropped its lawsuit against Solo Funds. We just covered that. Vought, in a Sunday post on social media site X, called the Bureau's action against Solo wrong and said, more to come, but the weaponization of consumer protection must end. What? The weaponization of consumer protection? It's like y'all are just searching for words to destroy consumer protection. The weaponization? So you just don't want consumers to be protected? Is that what we're saying? 2025, we don't want any consumer protections. Nah, it looks like we're weaponizing protections. Like what? So as you heard earlier though, pay attention, we do have a new acting director of the CFPB. Is the CFPB going to reopen? It's looking like it will, but remember, they fired the majority of the teams for all of the leadership. So the leadership can't really build cases. So are they gonna hire more people? Are these gonna be people that are gonna be contracted from other companies like Doge? So this is just the beginning, ladies and gentlemen. We still have all those other pending cases, and especially the biggest ones against the credit reporting agencies, Experian and Equifax. Those are massive cases that have still not been dismissed, and some others against debt collectors and all kinds of other companies. It's looking like 2025 is gonna be a rough year, and tariffs are on the way also. Don't forget about that part. So I hope you enjoyed this video. We covered another big one about this massive case for $2 billion being dismissed by the CFPB. Now make sure that you watch this next video, because it is about all of those cases that are on that list. I go over them all in detail in case you want to learn more about them. And if you felt that I brought you some value in this video, make sure that you don't forget and subscribe to increase your credit score.